Well, first, cheers to all the boss friends out there.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, guys. So today, I wanted to touch base on a docu-series that we watched about MasterP. Now, did you watch? You watched
I watched all of them.
all of them, right? Okay. So
it was really good.
The reason why I want to talk about this, we want to touch base on this topic. I had no idea that Master P was such a wonderful and such a great businessman.
I think we all heard stories that he was a good businessman. Like we knew that everything was always he owned the rights to his music, this and that, but we didn't know the details.
The details.
And the details was like, wow, like he definitely deserves his flowers right now.
Yes, I completely agree. Like when I watched that documentary, not only did I get so inspired, I was my mouth just actually dropped from the way that he handled his business, from the way that he was so focused on his business, from the way he structured his business.
True.
Amazed. Some macaroni?
I'm sorry, y'all. We ain't gonna edit this out, but apparently the kids want macaroni. But go ahead.
So what was your take on a docu-series that day?
I think it was really good. It shed light on a lot of things, like I said, that we didn't know. Like it was so many details, and it was so crazy because I actually forgot about the whole Snoop Dogg being part of No Limit
No
thing.
Limit,
like,
yeah.
Now when I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, but it was like we kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
But even like the way he handled Snoop Dogg, personally, I really love it because that's something that like with me, he went over and beyond. It wasn't like, okay, Snoop Dogg said he only wanted, you know, at one point it was $3,500. He gave him $35,000. So it's like one of those things where he just always looked out. He wasn't trying to get over. It's like, let's do business, and when it's time to break, y'all go about your business and I go about mine. So it was complete opposite of Suge.
Complete opposite of Suge. Yeah. So what I admired about him is the fact that he was about his team.
Right.
He cared for his team. Not only did he see the benefit of his pocket, but he saw the benefit of his team pockets as well. So anything that he did, like now, as some people don't know, like with a lot of different things with the entertainment industry, is that the entertainment industry is all about the big sharks, the moguls. And for him to broker a deal of what he was 80 20 or 85-15 or one of those two, that he broke it where he got the majority of it all, and his work ethics, like he just kept putting out work, kept putting out a whole lot of things to where he's like, well, you know what? And that's one thing that I realize about us nowadays. We constantly feel like, oh, I just got one like, or I just got one search, I just got one I just received just one this, one that, nobody's following, or just your one follower can be your biggest customer. Oh, yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, even though he wasn't going platinum at first and he wasn't getting such a big turnaround as far as people listening to his records, people didn't really know his stuff. What he did was, he's like, you know what? If I put in 10 projects as opposed to one, that 80% of 10 is going to add up.
Exactly.
So I admired that about him, and I love the way that he just was the way that he did business, and the way that he attacked a lot of different things at the same time and structure it so his team can eat. Like it wasn't just that, and everybody felt that and also played their part.
That's true. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Another part too, I think what I learned from before the documentary, I learned this about Master P, was the fact that he got offered a deal where at a time in his life where he was quote unquote broke, and someone offered him $1 million, you know, one of these executives, and his whole thing was like, he said he went in there, I think it was his brother or someone, and when he turned it down, the person was like, what the hell, why would you turn that down? We don't have no money. And he was like, well, if this person is willing to give me $1 million, then I know that you're right, you don't know me, then I know I'm worth so much more. And that be the thing too. I think as business owners, sometimes we try to find value in people, try to find value in likes and this and that, but I just feel like if you know what you're doing, you're true to it, and you're doing it because you love it, just do it. Eventually, you know, I was watching Gary V this morning, and I, as much as I watched him, I never heard him say this, but he said, he said, just do it. He said, at the end of the day, the cream always floats to the top. So no matter how saturated the market may be, if you're good at what you do and you're able to stand out, you're going to make it.
And just to touch base on what you just said, just because, you know, everybody else is doing it, that doesn't mean they're doing it as good as you.
Right.
Because some people might just simply do it just for the monetary value. They have no customer service skills. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to make people feel their brand, or, you know, understand and give what they would like from, you know, to a business. Don't drop that. You need to.
Can't drop my tray.
You know, just because of that is that doesn't mean that you're not, what you're doing is not better than somebody else. You know,
and I think even with that though, like, my whole thing is just do it based on you. Like, don't really worry about nobody else. Because your superpower is that you're you.
Right.
You have to worry more so, instead of worrying about who else is doing it, worry about the experience that you give your client or your customer. Like, how do they feel when they walk away? Now, if this person is telling you that, you know what, I got my hair done from such and such, but I don't like the fact that she's always taking breaks, she's always on the phone, she got attitude problems. So you make sure when you get your client in the chair, you don't do those things. Right. You go over and beyond. So you try to build a relationship with your client and not looking over to see what this other person is doing too much, or whatever. But
yeah, and also another thing too, that I noticed from the documentary was when everybody had a fallout with No Limits. That's just everyday life, honestly. And to be quite honest, people are more unappreciative than they are appreciative. So his thing was, you know, and from what I gathered from the whole situation was, okay, so I'm doing everything that I can. I'm doing it to make sure that everybody that you eat, your family eat, everybody around us eat. But these people come in and their ego starts striking, and then they start feeling like, you know what? Why am I not the boss? Why do I have to listen to you? But they don't understand that everybody's not meant to be a boss.
Right. Some people got to be the worker.
Some people have to be the worker.
And without the worker, the business can't go
exactly. Ahead. But at the same time, it's like, even though he's the face or the executive of No Limit Record, but you guys were in such a big solidified position to where what's that boss title for? Like, what's the difference with the boss title? They just wanted the title. They didn't want the responsibility. They just wanted the title, because if they wanted the responsibility, clearly they would have been able to be at the same level as MasterP. They couldn't handle it. You know? So my whole thing is, it's like they just felt like, to me, what I gathered from that, they just wanted a title. Right. And a lot of people want titles. They don't understand that, you know, with the title comes responsibility. And sometimes, for example, we are two boss friends. We both have our own businesses, and we have this business collectively. There are things that she's good at that I cannot do. There are things that I'm good at that she cannot do. So what's the purpose? What's the point of me saying, well, you know what? I did this. I want to be the one that's recognized for this. Like, but you don't know how to do it.
Right. And people mess up that way. People, sometimes you'll get so much further. And what that's my whole thing behind the She Hustle stuff was, everybody wants to talk about this whole idea.
This is so good, y'all.
Everybody wants to talk about the whole idea of female empowerment and collaborating, but nobody really wants to do it. Let's just be real. People feel like, I'm not going to promote your business, and then, God forbid, you sell hair and I promote your business, and next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of sales. So people don't really want that. It's this whole old notion of people want you to do good, but never better than them. Once you do better and you surpass them, you now become their competition, not understanding that if you get yourself in a way of advancement, if I'm running a race and I'm ahead of you, at the end of the day, I can still reach my hand back and carry you through, even if you're still behind me every step of the way. But at the same time, you're still moving forward. The point is to move forward. If you just stand there hating, you stuck in the same place. No, grab my hand or hold on to my my coattail a little bit while I take off. And you'll be moving right along with me. But people more so I want to do it on my own. I want to be self-made. You know, this and it's a lot to deal with. And if you're really not about that life, it's not gonna work.
And that just goes to show you there's no I in team. Because
we've been hearing that for so long.
It's no I in team, because at the end of the day, when those individuals left No Limit, I mean, did we hear from them? Like,
but you know
barely.
Right, but you know what I think though, even with that, see what I loved about Master P thing though was he understood that with everything there's a time. Mm-hmm. Like there's going to be a time where things are going to, because think about it, if they would have stayed, would No Limit still be popping right now? Like it wouldn't be.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So what I admired about him is he knew how to diversify.
Right.
So he knew to put things in different places. So if this, goes down, I have this to keep the whole empire afloat. So it's one of those things where those other people they were just looking at one basket. Master P wasn't worried because he had so many things set up. Like at the end of the day, what y'all can't feed him. Y'all can't keep him alive. So if you want to walk away, and that'd be my thing too with business. I feel like when you're a business owner, you never put yourself in a position where someone else has the power for you to eat.
Right.
Because if you are now an employee. Because the only person who can do that is your boss.
Right.
But if you have a business, I'm all for a partnership. But I would tell anybody this: before you do a partnership, make sure that you are solid.
And evaluate who you're doing a partnership with. Right.
Make sure that you are solid. Make sure that if this person walks away, because I've dealt with many business owners and I've heard stories where I was doing business with this person, but she was the social media person. Mm-hmm. And now this person walks away and now my social media is bland, right. And it's a true story. Like this person had a very big platform, but she don't know how to run it.
Right. Because
she put all the power in somebody. No, we both have to know how to do everything. Mm-hmm. Because if something happens, you get ill, I get ill, the show has to go on.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. I completely agree with Flo, because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to do something, as she said, anything can happen, and then you just stuck.
Right.
You're just stuck, and your business is stuck, and the income the revenue that you was generating will no longer be generated because you don't know how to do this. Or you're going to have to hire somebody and put them into play. But the thing is, hiring people, it comes with a lot of, ups and downs.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to, they're going to be able to see your vision, number one. Do things how you want it to be done, number two. And also, they might not be able to have the same drive as you.
At the end of the day, it's your business.
So, yeah. So,
your business.
So you have to make sure that regardless of what, even if it's not for like the long run, I might not be that great of an editor, but at least I know how to put this and that together to edit something.
Right.
You have to
if
learn.
If you have to.
Mm-hmm. So you have to learn how to do all those different things because you never know.
You're sticking up, child.
Well, you're good. I like your scarf, by the way. It's
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah, so we just have to make sure that, these documentaries are very good to watch, and I feel like I got a boost from it.
Heck yeah, I did.
I got a huge boost from that documentary, docu-series.
Listen, No Limit.
Terms.
No Limit taught me to be limitless.
Yes.
And it's exactly what it was. There was no limit to his drive, to his determination, to all of that stuff. Like, he was about it.
Yeah, he was.
I can't believe we used to say that in middle school. And then it turned into a bad thing, calling a girl about it, but that's a whole other topic. But hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that docu-series was amazing, and I give props to him. I give props to his family, how he's still creating an empire. People think MasterP is no longer MasterP has a lot going on.
Right.
He has so much going on to the point where one thing that I did not know with him giving back. Don't forget to give back, you guys, because no matter how great your business is, once you get to that point where you can give back, make sure you structure yourself. You have to give back because you have to think about when you was in a lesser position and you wanted somebody to come and rescue you or give back, be that person. You gotta be that person for those individuals, even if you didn't receive anything from it as far as benefits.
That's true.
Because one thing that I admired about him that made him stand out to me a lot more was the fact that after Katrina, he went and rebuilt a whole new community. That shit was looking nice.
It sure was.
You guys should see. You guys should see it. It looks so nice. I was like,
those are the projects.
Right. What project is this? Low income. Okay.
Right. It
looks
really nice.
so good, and the fact that he was able to do that for his community, he was able to get people that can trust him to invest, and for him to be able to invest himself.
I think what MasterP, to me, what he mastered was the whole idea. People say, oh, you know, don't worry about being allowed at the table, build your own table. Mm-hmm. I think, though that's a popular topic right now, I think MasterP is the epitome of what that means. And his thing was that he did not just build his own table, he brought everyone to the table with him. So it wasn't like, oh, yeah, I got my own table. Nah, he was like, come on, y'all sit down, we all gonna eat. He didn't try to, you know, pimp people, basically. Mm-hmm. How these record labels, the fact that, you know, a lot of these big time a lot of these big time record labels, we see people and they you think they have money, but it's like they don't. The people are just like, you know, giving them a little bit off the top. They're keeping their money, but okay, I'm gonna let you do this, do that, but you don't really have nothing of your own. Mm-hmm. At least, especially at those times. Mm-hmm. Now with the with social media and people able to do things as indie artists, it's way a lot different. Mm-hmm. But back then, people didn't own their homes. They didn't own cars. Right. You know, then when it was time for money to get shelled out, oh, well, you know, that car that you got, that came out of that money. And the fact that I had to go to the dealership and get that car, I have to get a fee. So everything was all these little fees. So the fact that so early on, he made sure that everybody had a house. Everybody had a car. And then he didn't just give them a house. He made sure their name was on the deed. Like, all those things that people think was so simple, but at a time like that, those were boss moves. Right. Like, people were not... Listen, the others who were signing the contracts, they were not doing that. They were not looking out for people, you know, at all like that.
They let you stay in their house.
What?
That belonged to them. They're paying a mortgage, but it belongs to them.
And we've heard the story so much. Yeah. Like TLC, MC Hammer, like all these people that we thought was like millionaires. And now they have, you know, they had to rebuild. Mm-hmm. And they went through the whole thing of being broke. And it's like, how do you go broke? Right. You had too many people hands in the bucket. So. Yeah.
And one thing about the whole thing with MasterP that, you know, I feel like he was great at is the fact that he gave you a chance, but he did not mix business with personal. So basically, if he gave you a chance, he's doing all those things to you, but if you fuck up, you on your own.
Right. He was like, you know what? Very strict.
Yeah, he was very strict.
Even with his brother. Exactly. He's very strict. Like,
so and you have to be like that in business. You have to put your business first. You are for your team, but at the same time, if you can't, you know how they say we take like you just said, you know, he took everybody with him. He understood. I'm taking you with
only if you want to go.
But if you start weighing me out, you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta jump up this shit. Like, you know, if you start weighing me down, if you start letting this fame let you do some, you know, stupid stuff, just like he told some of his artists, like, if you get caught up, you go here, you get caught up, I'm not bailing you out. Right. You know, tough love. Right. You have to give that to your partners and to your employees at times, because you can't just let them sell you, they have this issue, that issue, but how did you get in this position? How does it affect me? There's a lot of things that he had to step away from, a lot of things. Yeah? That's been touch ready? There's a lot of things that, you know. Okay. There's a lot of things that, you know, we have to make sure that when we do go and have our business associates, that we make sure that we separate our personal and our business. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how we feel, we cannot take that into business. Right. Alright? So, guys,
it's the wrap up.
Well, it was nice talking to you, friends. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Like, comment. And make sure you guys tune in for the next episode. We have a lot of episodes.
So, I have a request. I want you guys to comment below with your business Instagram name so we can check you guys out. Mm-hmm. And also some topics that you want us to discuss, because, you know, help us out, sisters out.
Yeah. Any topics, whether it's your business, whether it's things that you heard, make
questions
sure you guys, questions you may have, just send it over to us, and then we'll make sure that we discuss it. Okay, guys? Bye.